Jordan, I'm thinking probably the most important lesson you have learned in 2018 is if you ride in an Uber, ride by yourself, not with any teammates.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was a pretty tough look right there for the guys on the Senators. That was.
You know what's funny? I've heard players, and I know hockey
Mhm,
players, they might be different than baseball players, but I've heard players that say,
mhm.
this is how we talk when we get together. And I've heard coaches say, and this is how we talk about players. It's kind of human nature that guys, when they get together, they shoot the crap. And sometimes they say stuff that they shouldn't say, but they don't expect someone to be filming you at the time of it, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's like baseball is in like any other profession, you're gonna have your opinions and stuff, but when you're with your buddies, you don't expect those, opinions to be on national news or on Twitter and stuff. So I mean, that's just the kind of stuff that goes on, you don't expect your private conversations to be, you know, you don't expect them to be on national news. So that kind of sucked for them, They're
Jordan,
just kind of.
We are
Jordan,
recording this, by the way, Jordan. We are
Yeah, that's
recording.
yes,
fine.
this is being recorded. It's funny. I'm of the opinion, because the blame should be, in my opinion anyway, twofold. The driver of the Uber, it's a scumbag
Oh, he's a
move
dink.
to completely release the
Yeah.
stuff. That's completely scumbag. But secondly, for the Senators players, you can't be airing this stuff in public. I
But
mean,
they didn't
Jordan,
think they were in public.
well, but Jordan, you
Keep
would
it in
know
the
this
dressing
is-
room. Keep it in
this
the
is-
clubhouse.
Exactly. This is a clubhouse thing, right? Or this is your buddies in your apartment playing Fortnite over a couple beers. Hey, man, I'd like some more bullpen time. I'd like some more whatever. But you don't do it out in the middle of a public situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially like you never know who's even listening, especially if you're in a crowd or like even something like that. You don't know who's listening and, who could even report back, even if they didn't have a video, they could be like, hey, your players are saying this about your organization. So you got to be just really careful who you're talking to and who you're saying, especially in public.
Jordan, let's look back now at the 2018 season for you. A little bit of congratulations involved. What was that like running out the string and doing what I shouldn't say running out the string. That's usually what bad teams do. Riding it out till the end and winning it all in New Hampshire. What was that experience like?
Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely pretty cool. Knowing from like right when we got there, we knew the kind of talent we had on the team. Especially some of the young guys like Vlad and Bo, and everyone just kind of, we just played. We ultimately just wanted to win every game. Like it wasn't so much about like personal statistics and stuff like that. It was just like everyone coming together and wanting to win. And as soon as we got there, like the first, week or two into the season, I think we all thought on the team that, we have a pretty good chance at winning this thing if the kind of core stays together and everyone stays healthy. So kind of grinding out the whole season and finally like coming out on top, that was pretty special.
Jordan, when Vlad was called up,
Mhm.
what was the response on the Fisher Cats? Because it's a bittersweet moment. Here you have your biggest weapon
Yeah.
being promoted, and so you're obviously thinking about the Fisher Cats, but as well as on a personal level, you're probably happy for Vlad to be called up to Buffalo. What were what were the team thoughts on his call?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone was really happy for him. Like the guy, he was hitting 400, and I
Struggling.
mean, when you're
This is struggling, man. Yeah.
when you're doing that for 3-4 months, we were just kind of thinking, when is he going up? Like we knew he wasn't going to stay the whole year. What he was doing to the league, so we were kind of thinking like when he went up, we we're kind of like it's about time, seeing what he was doing to the league, and we knew that when he went up, other guys would just kind of step up and fill his place, and that's what kind of happened.
Were you guys keeping in contact with him? Kind of, saying, dude, we're winning and you're not here.
Yeah.
we're doing it without you,
Thanks
bro.
for leaving, Vlad.
So funny you say that. When we won the series in Trenton against the Yankees, it was pretty late. It was I think the game started at like 11 o'clock, and we FaceTimed him probably 1:30, and he answered, and he was super pumped for all of us.
So, what is the most surprising thing that many would not even think about that you learned upon winning a professional baseball championship?
Oh, I know this. Jordan.
Yeah.
Champagne stings the eyes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Right? People,
Look at you two rock stars. Both of you
hey,
shut up,
people
okay?
ripped the crap out of me because I wore goggles during all those Blue Jays celebrations, and I had to explain that, man, especially if you wear contact lenses, that crap
Yeah.
stings the eyes, man.
Yeah, definitely. Champlain was flying everywhere. They did a good job of kind of boarding up the clubhouse so no one's stuff got all wet. But I mean, it was actually like just kind of grinding that whole all those games, all those bus rides. It kind of made it seem like it was worth it just coming out on top. So it was just there's no really feeling like it winning a championship. We won it in Dunedin and now again in New Hampshire. So it's really like it's the best feeling that you can go into an off season. You have that championship, you accomplish what you set out to accomplish. So going into the off season with a championship, it's really cool.
And the neat thing is that a lot of the guys that you played with in Dunedin were the guys that you were playing with in New Hampshire, and it's this young group that keeps kind of growing together. And yeah, you get your Vladdies or once in a while guys that split from the group, but the core is there, isn't it? I mean, these are guys that you've been playing with forever.
Yeah, exactly. So in Dunedin, a lot of the same guys. We had Schneider as the manager. Strength coach was the same. So I mean, that definitely helps. The same guys kind of playing together. We all know each other. We know how to talk to each other. So that's awesome. Kind of climbing up the ladder with the same group of guys.
Jordan, do you have athletic companies now coming out in droves because you've won a championship? Are they now wanting to hitch their wagon to you? And if you would like to send some free stuff
Yeah, I knew
way,
you were going
please,
that. Matt was going for the free.
like, hey, by the way, if you're looking for endorsements, I've heard about this thing called the Nutty Buddy. You ever heard about this thing?
That's what catchers wear, man.
The Nutty Buddy.
Oh yeah. I don't wear one, but I've heard good things about it.
It's just apparently this thing is legendary. But are you garnering more attention? Not necessarily from like athletic companies, but are you now garnering more attention from areas that you wouldn't have thought because of the championship?
I'm not like just kind of climbing the minor league ladder. You'll kind of get more attention from companies like that. So after the Dunedin championship in that offseason, Mizuno came in contact with me, and so I signed a deal with them.
Cool.
So that was kind of cool. Getting a little recognition for that season. So I'm signed with Mizuno right now, and it's been awesome.
That's a question I think a lot of our listeners wonder is what level of player do you have to be before you start getting free stuff? Like, then all of a sudden you're not going out to Canadian Tire to buy your glove and cleats, right? Like
Right.
you're someone's actually giving them to you. And I've been in the clubhouses during spring training, and Jordan, I'm sure you've seen this, but Matt, it's unbelievable where you'll go to say Marco Estrada's locker and there'll be 10 boxes of shoes, and there'll be some from his supplier, but then there's other companies that want him to sign, so then they'll say, hey, try these out. And
they just give him the shoes?
Oh my God, guys will have stacks of stuff, right, Jordan? It's like,
Yeah, it's definitely pretty crazy seeing all that stuff, especially like after the draft. Because in college it wasn't like that. Guys aren't getting these companies coming at them. I don't think they're allowed to. But in the draft, especially like the higher round guys, they're all signing deals with sports companies. So when you get to Florida after you sign, you'll see guys with lockers of just gear. And in big league camp, the same thing. Like all the big name guys, they have just gear they don't know what to do with, all these companies sending them stuff. So it's pretty cool.
If you ever run into a size 7, that's unfortunately what I wear. But if maybe
okay, I'll send them your way.
maybe one of the Bat Boys.
I'm sure they're not handing out size 7s though. I'm sure that's not happening. Let me tell you. I know that in the music industry, they always say, if you want to get an endorsement with a company, the best way to do it is to already be using their product and be legitimately enjoying the product. Is it similar when it comes to the athletics where, hey, I like Mizuno gloves. I'm already using something by Mizuno, so this is a perfect fit?
Yeah, exactly. Like in college, I used Mizuno stuff and I loved it. So that's why it was definitely a good fit for me. And especially like the big league guys that honestly all the sports companies would want to get with them, So it's kind of, if they like the product, they'll be like to the company, be like, hey, I like your product. And then the company will just send them whatever they need. So the big league guys, like they could pick and choose what companies they want based on their preference.
And you can visit MizunoUSA.com. There is your plug,
Hey,
Mizuno
hey.
USA.
Jordan, I have something in common because I too was given. Well, I only got one, but I got a free glove from Mizuno. Do you want to hear how I got my free glove from Mizuno?
Theft.
Yeah, let's
It
hear
was
it.
Okay,
theft.
so-
Shoplifting.
After almost losing my face in around 2011 by a line drive off the bat of Ichiro.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I said, screw it. I'm going to stand in this camera bay every game, this
With a
close to the action.
glove.
So I'm going to wear a glove. So I had this cheap Mizuno glove, and I think it was probably a softball glove. And
Was it a size 7?
no, shut up. So the glove got a lot of TV time, and the folks at Mizuno saw it and sent me an email, and they said, dude, we appreciate you wearing a Mizuno, but that glove is old. It's not a great model. If you're going to wear a Mizuno glove, can we send you one? So they sent me this brand new blue Mizuno glove.
Nice.
Oh, man.
And
Do you have
that's-
it? Is it around studio somewhere?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
that's my one free Mizuno glove. And if Mizuno's
Right on.
listening, if you'd like to sponsor the show, you know where to go. Okay, let's go back in time, Jordan, because
Sure.
to make it as a major leaguer, or even to get to the level you have, not everybody does that. But a kid growing up in Markham, going to Father McGivney Catholic Academy, I mean,
Yeah.
did you actually, at a young age, seriously think that you were going to be able to get to this level? I mean, kids growing up in Ontario think maybe hockey, I can make it as a hockey player. But there had to come a time when something clicked and you went, oh, crap, I think I can do this.
So yeah, that's so when I was young, like when I was really young, just starting to play baseball, I think at that age, like I think everyone thinks that they can make it, they're like, oh, they don't really get it. And when I was starting to get a little older, I was like, okay, this actually might be, pretty tough. But I was always pretty good at a young age. I wasn't anything special, but I got to college and junior college, and I really struggled. So at that point, I thought, I was like, man, the major league's so far away. I don't think I'll ever, get a chance to even try to play there. But I always just kind of stuck at it. I was like, if I just work hard, just keep at it, we'll see what happens. And then my third year in college at Oral Roberts, that's when I was kind of like, okay, like if I just work hard, and do everything the right way, there is a chance I'll be up there someday. So growing up, I always had the dream, but I didn't really think it was a huge possibility. And probably until, my third year of college when I was 21, then I started realizing like, hey, this actually might be something I could do.
Did you actually have a fallback plan before that? Seems
Honestly,
like not. Right?
That's
Like,
awesome, man. Good for you.
Not really. I was just, going to get my degree. I wasn't, sure what I was going to do after college, kind of like a lot of people. But, I got drafted and then just decided to go this route.
What was your major, Jordan?
So I was business administration.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, he could find ways of getting us free stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
right. Take us through what you remember of the 2014 draft. I know you get selected in the 10th round, and to get selected is just the most incredible thing in the world. And at this
But
point,
now hold up a second. To sit there 10 rounds,
Yeah.
that's got to be excruciating, man. Like, it's got to be really excruciating, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the thing was, like, I was talking to a few teams, a few teams had interest going before the draft, but I didn't think I was going to be selected in the top 10 rounds. I was thinking maybe, 20s, 30s, just kind of happy to get drafted. And the Blue Jays, they called me actually in the 6th round. And, they said that, hey, we're going to take you with our 6th round, or they called me in the 5th round saying, hey, we're going to take you with our 6th round pick. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then the 6th round rolls around and I'm not selected.
Okay.
So I was like, oh man, like what's going on? I thought I was going in the 6th round. So I was, I just didn't really know, am I going to get taken by the Blue Jays? Because I really wanted to be a Blue Jay. But then the 9th round rolls around and they said, hey, we're going to take you in the 10th. I wasn't sure if I believed them because they didn't take me in the 6th. But yeah, I was selected in the 10th round. I think my dad was around, my brother was around, and it was a pretty awesome experience. So it wasn't like I was like waiting by the phone, watching every pick. That wasn't really what I was doing because I didn't even expect to be taken on the first day of the draft.
And
Or the second day.
it's so different because in hockey, I mean, it's broadcast because it's
Mhm.
you know a few NBA is like 2 rounds, right? So
Yeah.
everything gets broadcast. But for baseball, because there are so many rounds, like how do you follow it?
So my dad was watching it on the laptop, just like a draft tracker kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was just kind of going. I think I was on Twitter, just kind of looking at the picks here and there, and so yeah, we were just kind of following it. And I got a phone call, sixth or the fifth round, and I was like, hey, I might go. I might go top 10 rounds. So it was pretty cool actually being selected by the team I wanted to, and kind of a little higher than I expected too. So that was pretty cool.
I had no idea that teams could actually contact players before the draft.
Because isn't that tampering?
Well, I don't know. Like apparently it's not, but just to get a feeler, I guess, to see if you would have any interest in going there if you sign, if they
Yeah.
if they select you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think a team knows, like, if they call you and you say you're not going to sign, they're probably not going to take you. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's a good feeler for them.
So Jordan, what happens? All right, so you get drafted. All right?
Mhm.
You're drafted, and do you get a call from the team or a rep from the team say, okay, this is where we're thinking about slotting you. This
Mhm.
is when your flight leaves. Make sure to pack 5 nutty buddies because crap gets dangerous down there. Like, what's the next step? So you're drafted. Now what?
Yeah, so I got drafted, and I was talking to my area scout. Actually, his name was Dallas Black. He scouted me at Oral Roberts, and we kind of kept in touch. And I talked to him like, hey, what's going to happen next? And he's like, you'll be getting an email with a congratulations and kind of what happens next. So in that email, they gave me a date to go down to Florida, and there's like a 10-day mini camp that when you get drafted, you go down to the mini camp, you kind of get outside, you get throwing, and then after that, you get put on a team. So I started in the GCL.
At what
Rated.
at what
Mhm.
point did you look at them and say, "Show me the money"? Come on,
Where's my car?
I know
Well,
you
man.
did get a signing bonus, so I mean it wasn't a lot, but hey, it was something,
Yeah,
right?
I got a little bit of money, but it was a lot more than what I had, so that
Yeah.
was pretty awesome. I think you get that a couple weeks later. So, I mean, I signed for 25 grand, but
Yeah.
Hey
for
man,
me
it's
at that
25
time,
grand, man.
it
Whatever.
might as well. That's a lot of money for a 21-year-old. So
Sure.
I was pretty happy about that.